I think we age women very fast in Bollywood. नजरिया थोड़ा छोटा है. It's just we're going so much stereotyping.
मैंने कहा ये तो बड़ी यंग किस्म की माँ है यार, ये तो बहन लग रही है हमारी.
We need to learn certain lessons from COVID and try to make a more equal, a fairer society for the future.
The whole world was suffering and everything else, but those were the best months of my life.
Second wave was very bad. My husband almost didn't make it. My mother-in-law died. I've seen the dark side of COVID very closely.
Hey everyone, welcome to midday.com, and we have the very exciting cast of Sutliyan joining us today. Plabita, Borthakur, Ayesha Raza and Shiv Pandit. So hi guys.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. And I've seen the trailer of your show, and it's actually something we connect with. A family reconnecting due to COVID and the pandemic. So please tell us about your own experiences of how you all dealt with the pandemic and how did you all keep positive, most importantly, with everything going on?
Oh, we kept positive by testing positive. I have tested positive twice. In fact, I to feel that, I should have got COVID in the first wave also. Now I've got COVID in the second wave. I've got COVID in the third wave. So
Same, second and third, both.
Yeah, my report card is like missing the first wave. It's been quite exhausting to say the least. It's been a very tricky period for everybody involved. I think सबके लिए बहुत ही एक tormenting किस्म का समय गुजरा है. But I always like to see things on the positive side. We are here. We're speaking to you about a new show. Work has begun. फिर से normalcy आ गई है. हम लोग काम पे आ गए हैं. We are healthy. We are happy. Very grateful to God, that we're here. Life is moving ahead.
Yeah.
So just considering it like a bump in the road, but now the road should not have any more bumps.
More bumps. Yeah, agreed.
I had a blast. The first lockdown, I was alone for 3.5 months. Nobody to see me, nobody to visit me, but I would make. My sisters were at walking distance, thankfully, so we made queues together. We stood in queues together at grocery stores so we can talk at that time. But apart from that, I don't know. It was life changing. It was somehow I know the whole world was suffering and everything else, but those were the best months of my life. Just alone, doing my own thing. I was listening to music alone, singing, dancing alone, cooking for myself, eating whatever I want to. Because before that, I used to be on a diet all the time.
Yeah.
And then talking to my friends every day, talking to my family every day, playing Ludo, of course. But yeah, once that opened up, after the first lockdown, when the second one happened, by the time I was so bored. I was like, ho gaya, matlab band karo, bas karo, ho gaya, kar liya, enjoy.
And we also have Vivaan Shah joining us. Hi, Vivaan.
How are you?
Good. Yeah, ma'am, please tell us about your experience.
First lockdown was good, great. We're very blessed. We live well. We have food on our table. We have good beds to sleep in. I had my mom and most of my family right next to me. So again, that was a blessing that, I could take care of them. तो वही हुआ कि अच्छा मजा आया. पहली दफा छुट्टी हो रही है, खामखा आप बैठे हैं, वीडियो कॉल कर रहे हैं. Second wave was very bad. My husband, my mother-in-law, and my son got COVID. They were away from me in Madhya Pradesh. My husband almost didn't make it. My mother-in-law died. So I don't want to get into this depressing aspect, but I've seen the dark side of COVID very closely, and really we managed to just about get our head above water. So I guess in a way coming back to the show, seeing what COVID can do to a family, can do to a person, and how difficult is it then to really sort out your priorities, and how do you put family first? How does a family help each other through one of the darkest periods the world has seen? And I think everybody in their own way has seen some really bad stuff. We've been fortunate not to see it as badly as some other people who've been affected financially. We haven't been. But again, Sutliyan does deal with a lot of that dark side, but also then shifting to the positive note that there is a silver lining. Your family is with you. You can get over these things. And so I think, I related to that quite a bit in that sense.
It was a time of immense... almost existential uncertainty, you really, and also brought into sharp focus the horrible contrasts that exist in life and the horrendous inequalities that exist in our societies. I think it really brought this into sharp focus. The way COVID just made the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Now, that is something I hope people think about, and going forward as a civilization, as a society, as a humanity, we need to learn certain lessons from COVID and try to make a more equal, a fairer society for the future. And it also, on a very personal human level, I would say that the great lesson that COVID has taught us is that everything is relative. So whatever one's own problems or woes or pain or whatever is, it's all relative compared to what somebody else is going through.
Absolutely.
So that gives one perspective about one's own situation, one's own turmoil or whatever is going on in one's life, and makes you realize how inconsequential it is compared to what somebody who's not got the same advantage, who's not as advantaged as one is, what that person is going through. So really, I would say, as regards consciousness, humanity, these were big lessons that were learned by all of us during COVID. It was after the Second World War or after 9/11, this is probably the most seismic event that has occurred in mankind's history, recent contemporary history.
And also, you all play a family on screen, so obviously you have to have that kind of bond to show, in the series. So how did you guys kind of connect? Did you all know each other from before, or was it on set that you connected?
Yeah, I've had the pleasure of knowing Sir Vivaan Shah. So Vivaan and me have been to the same
school.
Not at the same time, but I've had the fortune of working with his mum, with Ratna ma'am. I've worked with her on screen, and I've also met his father many times, not at a workplace, but that's a personal little story. Vivaan and
you've seen him perform on stage also, no?
I have Waiting for Godot, and I think there's another play also which I saw, the court martial. I think
Kane Mutiny Court Martial.
Kane Mutiny, that's right. And I had the pleasure of making Ayesha's acquaintance and Plabita's acquaintance, and it actually didn't feel like that I did not know Ayesha or Plabita, because they were so easygoing to get along with, and that helped creating that family dynamic very easily on set. So I think because we all came with a mindset to work and sort of get into the character as soon as we could.
Yeah.
So it really was a piece of cake actually, dealing and working with all of them.
Firstly, I know all three of them from before the shoot, but I've also been a fan of all three of them from before the shoot of their work. Like, for instance, Ayesha ma'am, of course, her films, but the first time I met her, I was blown away by her performance in this play called Bombay Dying, where she played a very interesting character in that. And that's the first time I met her backstage at Prithvi after that. And I was just completely so affected and overwhelmed by her performance in that. And in her films, and of course, Shiv in Shaitan, Plabita in Lipstick Under My Burqa. So I was a fan of all three of their work before I actually worked with them, but I also knew them on a personal level before that.
I had a wonderful time. I think, we didn't have too much time to prep or to workshop before the show. But when we actually got on, we were very concerned that we should be able to bond and create that bond. And it really didn't take any time. Then Vivaan would come and say, ki Shiv ko jaake ye bol do. Then he would give me some,
Oh, yeah. This is a good one.
Thing which I had to go. And Plabita ka quinoa salad. Quinoa. Pata nahi, these were the stories of our life. Quinoa, upma se leke. Then Plabita and Shiv would have these gymming sessions where these two over gym, and it was like a magical time. Bada maza aaya. I would credit our dear friend Shagun for this, because she was she was our producer and our creative producer, and she's such a warm, large-hearted, fun person. She really made an effort.
I will hold back on fun person.
That's between you and Shagun, but she really attributed to the bonding that we had, where she really made an effort to bring the cast together, to have dinners together, to constantly keep us in touch.
Oh, and oftentimes, I'm so happy that Ayesha is mentioning Shagun's name. Oftentimes, what goes when we speak to journalists and when we speak to the media, promote the show, oftentimes, the focus remains on the actors because they're the face of the show. But people should realize that it takes a
whole
army,
team,
an army of people to create and to mount us and to make us come and sit at this pedestal to be able to speak about the show. So I'm very happy that we are speaking about Shagun, always speaking about some our producers involved, because it's only because of them that this whole thing has managed to come together.
I usually get along well with most people when I work with them, but this team has been like special because it was just instant. The bond was instant. Vivaan and I met at the airport. Vivaan, me and Lyra. And after that, even when I met Ayesha, then next day I met Shiv. It was amazing. And because we were there together for so many days, initially it was like nice. And we were like, okay, nice. We're all getting along well. By the end of it, we were just there. And three of us actually behaved like siblings. We were just pulling each other's legs at all times. And especially Shiv, oh my God.
मैं आयशा को मैं यही कह रहा था कि जब हमारी कुछ तस्वीरें ली गई, मैंने कहा ये तो बड़ी यंग किस्म की माँ है यार, ये तो बहन लग रही है हमारी, because Ayesha, I was very surprised when I got to know that Ayesha is playing our mom, because Ayesha was looking anything but our mom, and I was like, how are they going to make you, because she's looking so in fact, if you've seen the poster where Ayesha is puja ki thali leke khadi hai, so it's got a very sweet, kind of a very nice, heartwarming and a very nice kind of an imagery. So and that also has come because I think kahin na kahin jo Plabita keh rahi hai, we have actually gotten along very well. एक आदमी एक हद तक ही एक्टिंग कर सकता है, उसके बाद तो
well, that's a testament to Ayesha's artistry and brilliance of her craft, that she can really transform herself into the character. Like the second she puts on that wig, she's not Ayesha anymore. She's Supriya. Literally, I mean, it's magical the way that transformation happens.
No, I remember that. I remember telling you at that poster shoot also, Ayesha, that wow, that when we were holding that phone and all that. ये तो बहुत, you're looking. I was going on saying, नहीं यार, मुझे ये feel नहीं आ रही है. Ayesha looking like her sister. It's not.
Age का नहीं है. I think we age women very fast in Bollywood. Very fast. So the question is that I would. So there's a grandchild involved, and I'm really not that old, but I really feel that.
Of course.
This was such a beautiful part. It was such an opportunity to be part of a show where you could be headlining a show along with such beautiful actors, that you take these opportunities. Then eventually you're an actor. You have to play a role. So you have to go above the age. And but agar aap mujhe kahen ke ad mein, play this kind of, then I may not. Then I may decide that where would I want to push myself to do something like this. And I'm so glad that it was this particular project, because it really served me to be part of it. It really gave me a lot in terms of the people that I met, the warmth, plus the kind of bonding that we had as a team. I think it was fantastic. I really, really appreciate every minute that I spent there. Seriously.
Same. Seriously, yeah.
No, you have brought up quite an interesting topic, and it's been debated for a long time. Like, we do age women, especially in Indian cinema, very early. And that's not the case for men, obviously.
No.
Any experiences that you'd really like to share about being offered such parts, which is quite unfair, honestly?
I don't know. I think नजरिया थोड़ा छोटा है. मैं किसी को बताती थी कि औरतों की कास्टिंग कैसे होती है. जैसे मेरा मुंह गोल है. That's either it's a bane or a boon, I don't know. But उसमें मुझे माँ कैटेगरी में एक sweet mother type में मिल जाता है. But if somebody wants to cast a manager in a corporate office, they're not going to get me. हालांकि all managers are not thin with blunt cut and pencil skirts, but it's just we're going so much stereotyping that it's very difficult for people to think otherwise. I was just thinking that if you cast एक जो फिल्म में बनती है ना, एक रात की कहानी, तो there's a who done it कि एक हीरो है, एक हीरोइन है, और एक रात एक मर्डर होता है, और वो सेट होटल है, और वो पूरी कहानी एक होटल में होती है, और वो मर्डर होता है. सपोज उसमें बहुत सारे छोटे छोटे कैरेक्टर्स होंगे. एक बेल बॉय होगा, एक मैनेजर होगा, एक रिसेप्शनिस्ट होगा, एक दो कैरेक्टर्स गेस्ट्स होंगे. All the characters will be men. the
True.
bellboy, the receptionist, the manager. They will all, the visual will not be, let's get a Shefali Shah to do this. Let's get a Divya Datta. I'm talking about star character actresses. Okay, I'm not talking about myself. I'm saying Divya Datta, Shefali Shah. Name them and you've got them. But you'll not cast them. Why will you not cast them? Because your thought is not there. So वो thinking जब पटरी बदलेगी ना, तब कुछ ना कुछ धीरे धीरे बदलेगा. अभी फिलहाल नहीं बदल, अभी नहीं बदल रहा है.
And also the title is very interesting, Sutliyan. So please tell us your interpretation, all four.
It's a symbolic title, and it's a title which basically, I think even if you look at a Sutli, it's comprised of many fibers and threads which sort of go in disparate directions but are intertwined at the end of the day and can't help but be locked together.
Yeah.
But they constantly sort of try and go off in their own directions, you know, the way, or if you look at a jute rope, or if you look at a Sutli, they're comprised of many small sort of finer threads within the larger thread. So it's a very beautiful metaphor in that sense of how this family works. All four of us have our own priorities, our own lives, our own interests and own pursuits, and everyone is going in different directions, going teda meda all over the place. But at the end of the day, they're kind of intertwined and they join in an embrace together.
और I think हर फैमिली की कहानी भी कुछ इस प्रकार होती है. I think
होती है, बिल्कुल.
सभी फैमिलीज में सबके अपने अपने प्रायोरिटीज होते हैं and people have their own lives, but there's a common anchor and a common thread which sort of holds a lot of families together. So I think in that way Vivaan has put it extremely eloquently that this is a very beautiful metaphor.
And all four of you are doing interesting projects across mediums actually. So if you'd like to tell us what more do we expect, after Sutliyan?
Part of a lovely feature film which I'm very excited to be a part of, which should be out in a month or two. I'm part of another web series which with a very interesting platform with a very different role that I've done before. And one good thing is I'm very grateful to God, and I'm very happy. I'm very grateful to the people who consider me worthy enough to work with, that I'm still a working actor.
Yeah,
working actor is a very important thing. काफी बार मैं पहले कुछ ज्यादा मुंगेरी लाल के हसीन सपने लेता था. ये नहीं करना चाहिए, ऐसे करेंगे वैसे करेंगे. उसमें क्या होती है ना, गाड़ी निकल जाती है. काम ही काम को लेके आता है.
Absolutely, that I agree.
और आपका जो हुनर है, आपकी जो स्किल सेट है, वो काम के साथ और शार्पन होते जाता है. कहीं ना कहीं क्या होता है, आज जो टाइमलाइंस हैं, टुडे द इंडस्ट्री इज चेंज्ड. आई हैव हर्ड कि जमाना होता था, यू यूज्ड टू सॉन्टर ऑन सेट, एट योर ओन टाइम एंड विल, एंड कुछ एक बहुत ही मजे में और लैविश तरीके से चीजें होती थी. आज with commercials, budgets, timelines, there's a certain more streamlining and transparency when it's being treated more and more like a business product. So if you are going unprepared on a set in front of your director, जिसने आप पे एक faith लिया है कि यार ये बंदा perform करेगा, तो वहां जाके अगर आपके क्राफ्ट में कहीं चूक आ गई, so then there'll be some, it will not show. It will reflect very poorly on you.
100%.
Yeah, the more you work, I think the more you sharpen yourself, and then then there's a certain confidence which producers and directors have on you that Vivaan, Ayesha, they'll be able to handle this when they come, etc., like that.
Yes, there's a film which I did in Bihar called Court with Mr. Sanjay Mishra. That should be out soon. That was a wonderful experience working with Sanjay Mishra. So it's just a blast, and hopefully that film should come out soon. There's a couple of other things also. A lot of plays. Also, we keep doing a lot of theatre.
I find out something quite exciting, but that workshops and readings will start towards the end of the month. But it's something after a long time I'm quite looking forward to, and it's not Mummy.
Yay!
Oh, nice!
Cheers to that.
So I'm super excited about it, and I get to wear skirts.
Oh.
Yeah, I just came here for the screening of my film Homecoming, which is out now, and I mean, I loved watching it, so I hope a lot of people watch it. Apart from that, I'm doing there's a show I've done called Escape Live, where also I'm playing a very different character than I mean, I was very fortunate to have in my bio, but that I will be dubbing for now, so I don't know when that will be out. And apart from that, I'm shooting for a film called Nayaka now. That also I'm very excited about. I think I'm very excited because all these characters are very different from each other and from myself.
So looking forward to all these projects. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you,
It
Natasha.
was
It was
really
a
fun
real pleasure.
talking.
It was a real pleasure speaking to you. Thank you.
Same here.
Thank you
Same
So
so
here.
much.
Thank
Great
you so
speaking
much.
to you. Take care.
Subscribe to Midday India. Get direct notifications on all our videos by clicking on the bell icon.